How's it going, everyone? Data here, and welcome to the first real official episode of our new NHL 07 Dynasty Mode series here on the channel with the Atlanta Thrashers. In the last one, it was a Dynasty Mode overview, getting ourselves situated into the game and into the franchise itself as we looked at some of the players that we are going to be using in this. I don't have to keep stopping myself from saying franchise mode and get used to saying Dynasty Mode, including Ilya Kovalchuk, Marian Hossa, some legends, some older players such as Bobby Holik and Peter Bondra. We had a few walks down memory lane as always, including seeing RDS legend Marc Denis. If you know, you know. And we began to think about some of the issues that we are facing as a team lineup-wise on forward and defense, line chemistry, keeping those things in mind, etc. And we have come to a few conclusions heading into the beginning of year number 1. Remember, this is 2006-2007, and we definitely want to try and make this team a Stanley Cup contender, if not a Stanley Cup champion, by the end of 2010-11 season, which is when this team ended up packing up and moving to Winnipeg. So just a minor note that I did go back into the rosters. I went into Europe according to that great document that Hobbsy made that I mentioned in the last one. Guys like Nicholas Backstrom moved over to the Washington Capitals, so on and so forth. So the rosters should be as accurate as possible. So before we get into any personnel things, Ian leaves a comment saying, put at least one upgraded point into scouting. Don't forget. So when we go to the upgrades, at the beginning of the franchise, we get 2 upgrades available. Scouting would be a great thing to start working on. If we look down here at rookie scouting, the best rookie coaches will provide you with better rookie assessment on their abilities and potential. So we can go bang right there for 1 star. We can accept that upgrade, lock it in, and that leaves us with 1 more upgrade. If we were to use it on public relations, for example, we get player morale boost at home. Legal would mean saving 10% on contracts. Raising the salary cap if we do NHL pressure. Increase the chances of trades being accepted by 5% might really be helpful. So I'm not going to use that 2nd star just yet, but let me know what you'd like it to be used on. It could be head coach, giving a +2 to potential attributes, +1 practice bonuses to the assistant coach. Then it could be the goalie coach, strategic coach, you can read all these things, power skating coach, team functions, team travel, gym, right there, sorry, teamwork, and medical. So all those things are possibilities. Just going to use 1 on rookie scouting for the moment. I'll be taking care of scouting off screen and just keeping you updated as things go on. A big mistake I made in the last one by accident. Apo called me on it. Super excited to start watching this series. Thank you for that, Apo. Small correction. Kasperi Kapanen's father is not Nico Kapanen. His father is Sami Kapanen. What was I thinking? Of course I know that. So apologies. It's just regular old Nico Kapanen. No relation to Kasperi Kapanen. But nonetheless, 83 overall dangler, and hopefully he can be a good bottom 6 forward for us. Thank you as well to all the other kind comments that came pouring in the comment sections of episode 0, as you've been seeing going on the bottom rolling on the screen at the beginning of the video. Very much appreciate all of those, and I'm very excited for everyone's willingness to be involved in this brand new series, which will be concurrent with our brand new NHL 21 series, which is about to begin in about a week or so from the upload date of this video. So a big thing that we were thinking about was our 3rd defense pairing. Braden Coburn, 78 overall defensive defenseman. 78 is pretty fringe for the NHL in 21, but in NHL 07, 78 is pretty much like a minor league player. 78 should not usually be in the NHL, but our player has good potential and a +3 on chemistry. I'm okay with keeping Coburn in the lineup. It's Popovich that we can't keep at a 73. So Jen Zed McKenzie said, definitely get a better 3rd pairing offensive defenseman and send Popovich to the minors if he has decent potential. Maybe put an offensive defenseman who's scratched in the minors if they're good enough. And also thinking about switching around Kapanen and Metropolitan. Yes, I could definitely do that once we figure out what we're doing with the forward core. But the defense, Popovich, I think definitely has to move. 73 overall offensive defenseman helps the chemistry. But being a 73, potential 78, that's good. But I think putting him in the minors would be best for his growth and for the team. So a third pair offensive defenseman is really a big thing we want to think about. Now, when it comes to who that replacement might be, looking over in free agency, there are some very viable options right now when we go over and we sort by overall. There we go. Starting off with Sean Hill, defensive defenseman. So not necessarily who we're looking for when it comes to chemistry, but still a very good defenseman, just a bit more up there in age. It's more Nathan Dempsey I was thinking about. 82 overall offensive defenseman, 32, and would fit that chemistry a little bit better. There was some lobbying in the Discord server. Ty Domi in free agency, have to sign him. Sean Hill, Slim loves defensive defensemen. Ty Domi is a power forward, 82 overall, 36 years of age. 93 aggression. Is there a discipline stat? No, right? Just 97 checking, 97 toughness. So we could, we could use him on the fourth line because we have 76 overalls down there, so that's possible. There was even a very hot take suggestion in the Discord server by ZNC. He said, Hossa is a 95 overall sniper, but Kovalchuk is also a sniper, 97 overall, and he's 4 years younger. They'll probably never get max chemistry together, so I say split them up or trade Hossa for a playmaker or dangler. I would look at Detroit's Zetterberg or Datsuk and Pittsburgh's Crosby or Malkin as just some names off the top of my head. Maybe they want a winger to play with them instead of a second elite center, kind of changing history here. Yes, kind of unrealistic, but I'm okay with that. I wouldn't say it's completely unrealistic because no one knows at this point what those players might become for the younger ones, especially, while Marian Hossa is more of a lock at the moment. But I don't think that's the craziest of takes, and I'm definitely open to that. We'll start the simulation, we'll wait for things to start moving, and then we'll get suggestions before making a massive move like that. But I do like that, and I'm not opposed to it necessarily, just that we definitely don't want to move a huge piece unless we're 100% sure that's the right move and who's coming back. I'm Sean Avery himself left a good one saying, for the new series with Atlanta, I think this guy would be a great add to the team. In 06-07, he had 48 points. He was around 27 years of age. He's hitting his peak. Great time to add him to the team. Again, not opposed to this suggestion, but Sean Avery, to get him, it would have to come via trade. We can't just sign him up and snatch him up here in free agency. So if we were to get Sean Avery, it would have to be next episode before the deadline, and we have to think about who's going back the other way. Because I'm already thinking about some other trade possibilities, and to plug the holes, I think we have the answers here in free agency. It's the trades for the things that we want to change that I'm thinking about right now. For example, I was saying we need a better second line center. So if I send out a second line center and whatever else to take back a second line center, that makes more sense as opposed to just giving up random pieces for Sean Avery, for example. So I definitely am not shooting that down in the slightest, but I just want to hear some suggestions from all of you on what players we should be getting and what are we sending back, if anything. But a great suggestion on trade from Sully, speaking of second line centers. Over in the Discord server, he says, I would love to see Pierre Turgeon on this team. In NHL 7, he is a playmaker, exactly what we need for chemistry. Pierre Turgeon has the most points in NHL history of any player not in the Hall of Fame, Jumbo excluded as he's still playing. He's 32nd all-time in points, never won a cup. 06-07 was his last season, and he would slot into the Marlowe or Jumbo Joe Thornton role of let's get this guy to the promised land that many people, including myself, like to do in franchise modes. Also, he's on the Avalanche. May as well grab him while you're getting Jose Theodore. So he already read my mind on who I want to be getting as a new backup goalie. But just speaking of Pierre Turgeon, what a career. First overall pick by the Sabres in 1987. 06-07 on the Avalanche. He scored 7 points in 17 games. In his career, though, 1,327 points in just shy of 1,300 games. Over a point per game. What a crazy career. And like Pat said, not in the Hall of Fame. No Stanley Cup ring. This could be a great time to change that. So let's start working on these ideas, like we said. So Ty Domi is, it makes sense for the fourth line because we can move out that 76 overall that we had. He wants a one-year deal. He's asking for $1.75 million. No one else is interested, so I'm okay with just sending him $1.78 million for 1 year. In the real NHL, he never played after the 05-06 season in which he put up 5 goals, 11 assists, and 16 points. He never got another contract after that. The man has over 3,500 penalty minutes in just over 1,000 NHL games. He could give us some nice grit to that fourth line, so let's send it out. Sounds good. Let's sign. Thank you very much, Ty. Now we go back to overall, and we want to sign Nathan Dempsey for our third defensive pair. So, Nathan, I'd be down to give you 2 years. Perfect. You read my mind. Asking for 1.75. So, you know what? I'm giving you term. Let's go 2 years at 1.73 million. You'll have to do better than that. Okay, 1.78. Better than that. 1.83 sounds good. Let's sign. At least it gives you answers right on the spot. It doesn't take 8 days of simulation to see, no, I don't like it. Disrespectful. Blah, 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 blah. So, at least there's that. Don't think we'll sign anyone else from free agency, so we can go back now. Now, if we look at edit lines and we just hit the best lines, we'll be able to get Ty Domi. He's already on the second line here. He's 84 overall. I guess I don't know if it's with morale or something, because his potential is 82. He's playing over his potential right now. So okay, I'm not gonna say anything. That sounds good to me, Ty. Atlanta, we will take that. We'll have to still move some things around, but yeah. Larson would probably be the guy that I move out next if we're getting another forward. But like we said, Pierre Turgeon, if he can be our new second line center here, and we can just move out Metropolit and maybe Popovich or whoever else we could trade away. And I would also be down to trade our current backup, Johan Hedberg, to go out to the Avalanche and pick up my all-time favorite player, Jose Theodore, who's a few years removed from a Vezina and a Hart Trophy, as well as picking up Pierre Turgeon. The hard thing is you don't know the trade value in this game, so you can never really know what you're doing. You're kind of just shooting in the dark here. So if we look at Pierre Turgeon, 86 overall playmaker, exactly what we need for this team. Signed to a 2-year deal, potential of 80. The guy can just keep getting better. Crazy wrist shots, amazing on the draw, strong skater. So that would be really nice for us, I gotta say. So at the centers, I'll go and grab him. And then if I go back into goaltenders and look at Jose Theodore here, huge love for Jose Theodore. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but I'm definitely gonna try it. 89 potential. I know we have Kari Lehtinen in there, and it's a bit expensive for a backup. I know this is a bit of a crazy move, but it just comes down to just love here. Nothing but love. Love Peter Budaj there too. So if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot. Johan Hedberg is going to be in the deal going back to the Avalanche. And then I'm also going to make sure that they get a centerman to make it worth their while just forward-wise. So we can either throw in Kapanen, 81 overall at 28, or Metropolit, who's 80 at a 32. So Metropolit definitely with less value. But no chance this is going through. Just what are they saying? Just, you'll be above the salary cap. So we have to trade someone who has some cap. So it doesn't really tell you that, which is an issue. Not a lot of money on this team. Ruchin's making 2.2. What do we say? Yeah, still over the salary cap, eh? That's the tough part. Okay, so I'll have to take out Theodore, unfortunately. Let me take him out for a moment. Maybe it could be a secondary deal afterwards. But if we take out Hedberg, and we just go Metropolit and Ruchin for Turgeon. Trade accepted! All right! So I guess that must come down to just age. They know that Turgeon is about to retire. Metropolit and Ruchin may not be anything special, but they're players who are signed longer term and can be on the team for a longer time. Hey, the trade difficulty is as hard as I can make it. I can't do much. If the system accepts it, it accepts it. He's about to retire. He wants to chase a cup, and that's what we're trying to do here in Atlanta. They've heard of GM data, and that's what we're trying to do. So, wow, Pierre Turgeon, welcome to your final couple chances at a Stanley Cup. We sure hope so. We'll try to make it worth your time. Johan Hedberg, straight up for Jose Theodore. Doubt that's going to be able to happen because we saw the issue with the salary cap. He's making $4.5 million. He'd be like the most expensive guy in the team if we traded for him. Really not a lot of options. Like Mellenby at 40 years of age, we can give them Mellenby. Like, what are they saying here? Over the salary cap? Like, who else could I even throw in just for fun? Vigier here, I throw him in. Still over the salary cap? No, that wouldn't be able to happen. I'd have to throw in someone who's taking money. Like, what if I put in... Let's just think about this. What if I put DeVries? Do they have a cheap defenseman I could take back? Like, what's John Michael Lyles making? Ooh, he's making only zero... What? John Michael Lyles getting paid 0.5 for another 3 seasons? And he's an offensive defenseman, right? Yes. John Michael Lyles. Oh, I love... The Avalanche have always been my second team. Ozzy Vannon's not a bad idea either. So, what do they say to John Michael Lyles? How? Yeah, no kidding, that's a trade rejected. But if I'm going to trade a defenseman, could I give you someone a bit more serious here? Like, I just signed Dempsey, I won't give you him. Garnet Exelby's out here, legend. Havlet, I don't want to move him. McCarthy? Can I give you McCarthy? Then I'm down a defenseman still. Or do you prefer potential? If I give you Popovich, no, that's going to be rejected. Or if I just give you an offensive defenseman instead of a defensive defenseman. So I'll give you McCarthy, take out DeVries. Still, oh, now would be above the salary cap because DeVries was making all that money. All right, not quite meant to be. Let's start simulating with this team and see what happens before we start making other deals like that. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. Oh, extra, read all about it. Atlanta Post, October 5th, 2006. What's hot on the ice? Trade special. Atlanta Thrashers acquire Turgeon from the Colorado Avalanche. $1 for an entire newspaper. How time flies. I will edit those lines manually, my friend. Then I'll just best lines it, though, right here. And that brings Larson and McKenzie into the lineup, which means I might want to be getting some better fourth liners. But Turgeon with 2 snipers. If we had a dangler or a power forward, like Bobby Holik playing, if he was on this line, sniper, maybe if it went Kovalchuk, Holik, Kozlov. Let me try a few experiments here first. No, nothing really seems to work here, unfortunately. But +1/+1's not bad for the top 6 here. These are some good players. We could, in theory, I could put Ty Domi on the second line. But that just might hurt us with all his physicality and get us on the... Just more ice time might mean more penalties. So I might just keep the +1. Either way, McCarthy Coburn only gets a +2 and not a +3. I'm not sure why, because it's offensive and defensive there. Dempsey's on the second pair. Let me try swapping Dempsey and McCarthy. That's still a +2. Interesting. Not sure why. I'll keep it best lines then. I won't change anything else. And power play, they put Turgeon on the first line. They have Pierre Turgeon on the first line over here as well. So maybe, you know what? I won't complain. I'll keep it as is. Like I said, I'm very tempted to do more, like the big names, but I'll stay away from that. It's the little things down on that fourth line I might want to fix a little bit more because the 76 and 77's pushing it. If you just sort by forwards. Don't want to take Whitaker. It's a bit too much of a cheese. Similar to what Colin commented here saying, just an OP free agent. Always picked him up when he started a dynasty. Cheese move since he was only 16. He has 99 potential. He was a make-a-wish for EA Sports. So happy that he's in the game. Such a great way that he is still being remembered here, 14 years later. So that's amazing. I'm not going to take him, but I will very much be excited for whoever does. We could take Sean McCurchin, 81 overall playmaker. 81 here for overall and potential. His last season in the NHL was 05-06 with Boston. In 28 games, he scored 8 points. He had 579 points in 911 games in his career. Had some really good seasons, 72 points in 2000-2001 with the Senators. Most of his career being with the Senators. He was on the Thrashers from 02-03 to 03-04. So it wouldn't be crazy to bring him back. Yeah, he scored 55 points in 82 games in 03-04. And he was a 110th overall pick in 1987 by the Penguins. Let's do it. Sean McCurchin, welcome back. So see what he wants. Is it McEachern? Maybe that's it. But I will give him a 1-year deal. Start at 1.33. Looks good to me. Let's make the deal. Thank you, Wayne Brady. Let's do it. So now we go, sorry, don't want the mailbox. Now we go to edit lines. That should give us a nice boost for at least the bottom 6. I'm not sure how the computer is going to want to do it. And let's see where they have him. So he'll go on the second line, gets the +3. Interesting. And then Bondra gets pushed to the 4th line in the name of chemistry. So you know what? I'm going to put Bondra where Slater is, actually. +3/+2 goes to +1/+2. But I think it's worth it because I'd rather have Slater on the 4th and Bondra on the 2nd, as opposed to the other way around. Put Slater at center as well. And I think that is going to be everything for us, my friends. I think we're ready to start simulating with the new look 2006-2007 Atlanta Thrashers. These are the few moves that GM Data is making headed into the first little bit. And let's start simulating. We'll see how things go, and we will adjust from there. Game 1 of the regular season. Owner says an even matchup. Work hard out there. Let's start off by simming the game, a very different sim engine, as you'll see. First period, it's 2-1 Tampa Bay. Second period, it's 2-2. Heading to the third, but we lose. See how quickly it goes. We lose with a third period heartbreaker. With a good second period comeback. Shots ended up being 19-17 in Tampa Bay's favor. and we drop it just by 1. The stats were going. I could have scrolled up to see the stats. My apologies. We'll do that for the next one. So owner's trust level, still hopeful to trusting. No big change there, I don't believe. Tells you the rest of the league matchups there. You can see all the other games going on, and then you're back to the main page. And it even brings you to the standings. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. Very considerate of you. We have mail after game number 1. League news, trade summary. Yeah, well, that one trade we made. Exactly. Thank you very much, league news. And let's move on to the next one here. Florida Panthers taking them on in game number 2. Quick sim, 1-1 after the first. Second period, 2-1, 3-2 lead for the Panthers. Third period, huge comeback, and the Atlanta Thrashers win it 4-3. Let's go. First win of the 06-07 season. Let's scroll up here. There we go. Now we can scroll up. Pierre Turgeon scores. You can go back and see who scored the first goal, but I can't. I'll have to see it when I'm in editing later. But Pierre Turgeon scores this goal. Dempsey and Holik getting the assists. Love it. The Panthers, it was Stumple from Horton and Kalnick, sorry. And then second period, Kozlov from Hossa, Jelena from Mezey, Jelena from Kalnick again. Then third period, it's Holik from Sutton and Kozlov. Holik again from Kozlov and DeVries. So 2 goals from Bobby Holik in the third period win us this game. 4-3 the final, and we are 1-1-0. That's what we like to see. Little love from the owner, maybe. Thank you. What's his name again? Hendrik Hughes. Thank you, Mr. Owner. There we go. Blah, blah, blah. Don't need to see that every time, so I won't always look. But we can go into the calendar now. Let's get a little bit of calendar simulation going. And let's go. I know it's quick simulations, but let's go see, and I put quotation marks around see, the game against the Carolina Hurricanes, who were the 2006 Stanley Cup champions. Them being an 89 overall definitely makes sense. It's a bit of a slower sim here in the calendar, so I'm going to jump through it a bit more than I usually would, as opposed to letting us go through it. But that's a huge game. I'm not sure what the score was, actually, but a huge win against the Hurricanes, and then back-to-back getting it against the Capitals. Let's see where we are by the time we come to the 25th of October. Okay, so here we see that Peter Bondra has been injured with a sore foot, and the soonest he can return is October 31st. So we're going to go into the edit lines manually here. It's a third line position we got to fix here. Aubin is probably the guy for all injuries. I could probably send down a few guys as well. Yeah, I shouldn't have so many people in here. Actually, Mellenby. Yeah, Mellenby, 40-year-old Scott Mellenby here. So I'm going to go ahead and dress him, put him in the lineup, and then can I go back? Or I need to do everything. I need to go through the whole place. And, oh, this is interesting. The little hot and cold emojis. And 70 overall with the cold. Yeah, let's get Aubin. There we go. Aubin is going to replace McKenzie. McKenzie is going to be scratched. There we go. I got to get into the groove of things here. And then I'm going to go and make sure that Mellenby is filling in for Bondra, wherever he was. So give me a second for that. Okay, that's done. Back out, brings you back to the calendar, I believe it should, and the simulation continues. Another win there against the Florida Panthers. So let's go through, you can see the scores. So it was a 3-2 win against the Hurricanes, 2-1 against the Caps. We played them again, beat them 3-2. We lost 2-1 against the Panthers. We beat them 4-3. So every game has been won or lost by 1 goal. Aside from that game against the Bruins, we lost 4-2 there. So the Hurricanes are 90 overall, but they are 2-5-2 at the moment. Meanwhile, we are 5-3-0. Owner wants to see a lot. We have 3 new letters here. We got streaks. Okay, we tell you around the league who's on a hot streak, who's on a cold streak. Thank you. Injury summary for the entire league. Cool. And recent signings. Ed Belfour was a free agent. I knew that, but I said I'm going to run with Hedberg unless it's Theodore. He signs with Dallas for $3.7 million, going back to where he was back in when he won a Stanley Cup with them in 1999. So I don't know if we're going. Yeah, you know what? I might as well send some people down here. Minor league management, because we have too many guys scratched here. So like Shane Nitty, I can, if I select minor. Okay, there. I click on him. He goes to minors. XLB, I want him. Okay, minors, good. Pretty much anyone who's scratched, I want to put them in the minors. Bolton, minors. No waivers here, so it's just perfect. If I need to call them up, I'll call them up. Larson, minors. McKenzie, he can stay because he's going to be like my scratch kind of guy. Same with Petrovicki. Popovich, minors. Vigier. You know what? I'll keep Vigier, and I'll probably send down McKenzie. Can I see what McKenzie did, though? Ooh, not looking good here. Can I see what he did, though? In 6 games, he had 1 goal. Not terrible, but I think there's better options. So, I mean, may as well. Just go put him in the minors. And that's that. Okay. A few more people in the minor league system. Let's sim this game against the Carolina Hurricanes, defending Stanley Cup champions. Here we go. First period, 0-0. Second period is tied 1-1. Final 20 minutes to decide it all. 0-0, headed to overtime. And in the extra frame, did anything happen, or was it in a shootout? And we take it. Okay, we took it, but I'm not sure if it was in a shootout or if it was an overtime. I think I missed up here, maybe. No, overtime. Game misconduct to Mike Commodore. Oof, pack your bags and get out of here. And then, yes, Hossa scores. Kovalchuk and Havlid assist. And we take it 2-1 in overtime. So it's a bit of a longer sim, it seems, in overtime. Another victory that comes by a 1-goal margin, and we are 6-3-0. Kovalchuk's on a hot streak. Slater's on a cold streak. That's all right. Other games around the league. And currently, they show us the standings, and there we are in the Eastern Conference, looking good. More mail from around the league. They like to fill the mailbox here. Team injury summary. So it's just Peter Bondra and current streaks of more guys. So I won't look at those too often, if really ever, to be honest. I think now's the time to get a good chunk of simulation done. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to go to the 1st of November against the Bruins, get Peter Bondra back in the lineup, and then I'll just sim the entire month of November, and then we'll pick it back up in December and see how we're looking. Peter Bondra has recovered. Lovely. Let's see how the captain has been doing, Scott Mellanby. Stewart's at a 72, so yeah. It is important to make line changes as you go. Can't really just let things run without ever being touched. He had no points in 6 games. That's all right, Scotty. Don't you worry about it. Can I see anything? He was a -2. Don't you worry about it. The guy's 40. Take it easy. So Bondra's getting dressed. He's going in there. And then Mellanby's getting scratched. Actually, you know what? Mellanby's not getting scratched. It's going to be Stewart getting scratched. And Mellanby can go to the 4th line now. So Stewart's scratch, Mellanby to the 4th line, gives it a +2, bang. We just put Bondra back where he's supposed to be there on the power play unit, and all's well in the world as we continue simulating. I will see you at the end of November, and we'll go see the Toronto Maple Leafs on December 5th. Minor concussion for Greg DeVries. That will keep him out to November 12th. Not a big deal. I'll just make those changes. And wow, I totally forgot about this, but I thought that auto-rotate goalies was always something that happened in NHL. No, Kari Letton, the poor guy is exhausted. He's down to a 78 overall. So I'm going to swap him out, obviously, with Johan Hedberg. Get him in there, getting a few starts. I just realized we have a ton of goalies in this system over here, including Dunham, who's an 83 overall. So let me send down like all of... Steve Shields is here? Let me just send down everyone except for Dunham, and we'll roll like that. Hedberg can get a few starts here while Lettinen recovers. And now after a few games, Greg DeVries is back to full health. Kari Lettinen has rested. He's back to an 88 overall. Beautiful. I got to keep note of that, though, that we need to be doing the rotations ourselves. As we're just closing in on the 5th of December, Ilya Kovalchuk has a bruised arm. Only out for a few days. Not a big deal. Swap him up quickly. And here we now are at the 5th of December. The Maple Leafs are 15-12-3. Should be a good matchup. Our record currently sits at 15-11-2. Very similar. The owner sees it. An even matchup. Work hard out there. Kovalchuk's out. Lots of mail over here. So I just want to see what the important stuff is. I think the coaches is important. Farm team player. You might want to consider calling up Ramsey Abid. He would be quite an asset. Okay, thank you. And then we have some great chemistry in the room right now, thanks to the solid team performance over the last few months. Our record is a true indication of how good this club really is. The guys are happy and thinking about nothing less than becoming league champions. Thank you, Matt, whoever this guy is. So that's great. Accounting. Monthly financial statement. Okay, thank you to Jason Houston, the accountant. So we are currently making a profit of we made a profit of $23.9 million, but we are in 29th of the NHL in ranking, so not great. We are spending a lot of money on salary with those free agent signings. Player mail here. Morale is up. Aaron Hossa looks rejuvenated lately. He is the first guy on the ice, last guy off at practice. Hopefully his work ethic and morale is contagious. All right, that's all great. League stuff, injuries, not a big deal. Fantastic. So let's simulate this game. Then we'll take a moment to pause and look at all of the stats that our players are getting so far. First period, 2-1 Leafs. Second period, no scoring. Third period, we need something here. 1-1, not enough as Pierre Turgeon scores, but we still drop it 4-2 the final. Oh, that's a brutal one, as those 2 goals in the first did not help. 2-1 in the first, 2-1 in the third. Tough L to the Toronto Maple Leafs. This game coming up against the Tampa Bay Lightning will be tough, the 2004 Stanley Cup champions. But like I said, we will take a moment to look at the player stats so far, looking at the points that our players have scored. So we don't care about the entire league, we just want to see our team, Atlanta. So Ilya Kovalchuk is leading the way with 13 goals and 12 assists for 25 points through 28 games. We're definitely missing him out there. Marian Hossa has 24 in 29. Pierre Turgeon still has it, 21 in 30 for him, 9 goals and 12 assists. Havelin's been a great asset with 15 assists, 17 points in 29 games. Kozlov 17, Dempsey, great free agent signing at 14. Holik, Kapanen, 9 goals for him. DeVries, 9 assists in 25 games. Ty Domi, 3 goals, 5 assists for 8 points in 29 games. Peter Bondra struggling a little bit with his points. 40 penalty minutes for Ty Domi so far. I'm not sure how much that's hurting us, if at all. I have to check out the penalty kill numbers. Braden Coburn with 5 points. There he is. Slater, and then less point games. Whoa, look at this guy. 3 assists in 4 games for Petrovicki. Ronald Petrovicki. Maybe we should be putting him in more often. And down the list there. And then, sorry, wanting to go over to the goaltending. How are we looking between the pipes right now? Kari Lehtinen is 12 and 12 with a 2.56 goals against average, an 863 save percentage. Johan Hedberg is 3 and 2, or 3-2 and 0, no ties, with an 845 save percentage. Yikes! How many goals against average for him? He's at exactly 3.00 goals against average. That is brutal. Kari Lehtinen's numbers aren't terrible, 2.56 there, but the save percentage is a bit scary. Maybe that's just normal for goalies in the NHL. Looking at the entire league, sorting by save percentage, looking at like who's played just enough games to make it realistic. So yeah, Martin Brodeur here has the best save percentage in the league at 891. So you know what? I shouldn't be taking it so bad at Kari Lehtinen having his numbers. There's Jose Theodore, of course. So many good names down here. And there's Lehtinen at his 863. So I guess not as big of a deal as I may have thought it was. But let's definitely go check out the team standings. How are we doing in the rest of the NHL? We are 7th in the Eastern Conference right now through 29 games, 15, 12, and 2. We are winning 55.2%. Let me see. What else can they tell me here? Power play percentage is at 11%. Okay, and penalty kill percentage is at 90.6. Okay, that's not bad. So if we just look at the entire NHL, it's not letting me sort by anything in particular, but just to say that the shorthanded percentages of most of the teams seem to be up there. So at 90.6, it's not necessarily anything that great. Look at Dallas at 97.5. I know the season is still young, and the power play percentage, it's there. That's why it's tough to see where are the places that we could be improving on. Hopefully Kovalchuk is back soon, the bruised arm, there's all this. To be honest, I know it's early in the season, but we'll probably be wrapping up this episode soon, probably around January. So let's go see a couple more games against any very good teams around here. The Devils, 17-7-2 with Martin Brodeur between the pipes. Let's go see them in a couple of weeks' time from now. Kovalchuk is back, thank goodness. We lost the Lightning, but then we beat the Penguins, so that's great. I'm going to best lines it because there's some cold streaks and there's some people who aren't doing so hot. Bondra on the 4th line with the +3. Maybe it works. Maybe the computer knows what it's doing, so I won't touch anything else. I'll just best lines it to finish off the month of December here, moving to that game that we want to see against the Devils. Steve McCarthy injured with a sore wrist, out for like a month and a half, so quite the soreness for that wrist. That's not going to be a huge deal, 3rd defensive pair, but doesn't help. So best lines it, and it won't help because I think it'll be Garnet Exelby who comes in. So not ideal. Yeah, that's a tough injury to take. But we are on a 4-game winning streak at the moment after that little losing streak we had. We beat the Penguins by a score of 2-1, beat the Ducks 4-3, the Caps 3-2, the Islanders 4-2, and now we're taking on the New Jersey Devils, who are 19-9-4. We want to keep them from getting their 20th win. We want to get our 20th win. We're 19-13-2. Let's go out and get this one, boys. You need to step it up to get the win, says the owner. First period, 1-0, Pierre Turgeon. Second period, no scoring. Third period, let's go, 2-1. We're headed to overtime. Martin Brodeur is going to close the door, but we take it 3-2, the final. Let's go. In a shootout, I believe, because there's no overtime bracket right there. Oh, a huge third period. And does it tell you if it was a shootout? I don't know if Bobby Holik got the winning goal. Holik scored, assisted by Turgeon Kovalchuk. That was the most recent goal. Either way, huge win. 3-2 against a very good opponent and a very hot goaltender. Win number 20. We are number 1 in our division and number 3 in the conference. Owner's trust level is looking good here. Taking a look now at the Eastern Conference. We're currently sitting in 3rd place. Now remember how the system used to work back in 2007. If you are the leader of your division, you are automatically in a top 3 spot because there's 3 divisions in the conference. So you can see the little asterisks next to the games played there. So even though we are below the 45 points of Toronto at 42, because we lead our division, we are in 3rd place automatically. We can try and pass Philadelphia. I don't think we'll pass Ottawa, but we cannot be passed by Toronto, for example, because we are higher up than, I don't know who's behind us, Buffalo or Tampa Bay. Little mail over here. Trade summary, that's interesting. Let's see what we got here. The Canadiens trade Mark Streit and a 2nd-round pick to the Carolina Hurricanes for Keith O'Coin and Trevor Letovsky. Yeah, that's a massive trade. Heading back into the calendar here. Penguins are 14, 18, and 2. Let's move into the month of January, get close to the All-Star break. Let's go see the Senators on the 1st of 2007, who are currently 27, 6, and 2. Tough 4-3 loss against the Penguins, 3-1 loss against the Devils. Then they come back with a 2-1 win, a huge win against a divisional rival, the Lightning. 3-2 loss against the Penguins, 4-3 loss against the Sabres. More of these 1-goal games. Now we're up against the Ottawa Senators. Moving into the calendar year of 2007. Happy New Year, everyone, on January 1st of this year. Senators are a very scary team at 29, 8, and 3, the record currently. We are 3rd in the conference, 1st in the division with 21, 14, and 5 being our record. Don't think we'll catch the Senators, but we do want to get as many points as possible. Let's simulate this one. 2-0 after the 1st period. 2nd period, 3-1, not enough. I mean, we need a big 3rd period, but we don't get it with no scoring. Only a 1-goal game. Who's in nets for the Senators? Like Martin Gerber? As we're once again limited in our goal scoring and lose a tight game. Only let in 3, but the goal support is not there. So that's now a few L's in a row, and Tampa Bay Lightning have passed us for top spot in the division, which drops us all the way down to 8th, just hanging on to the final playoff spot in the East, with Boston right on our tail. So we got to start putting together some wins. Moving into the lines here. Not seeing any cold emojis on anybody, so that's tough to figure out. So the computer did factor in some rest. They put Johan Hedberg in, and they had the 3rd goalie in as well. So we'll put Kari Lehtinen back between the pipes, 88 overall. Let's get back into the calendar for some simulation. Hopefully Kari Lehtinen can make a bit of a difference for us. We'll go to the LA Kings. They're currently 26, 11, and 5. That gives us a little bit of time before the All-Star break to kind of see what do we want to do and what do we want to think about moving into the trade deadline next episode as well. Sean McCurchin, whatever, injured with a bruised hand. That's quite a bruise to keep you out for over a month. He's back February 17th. So 3rd defensive pair, we can just let the assistant coach do best lines on that. Not a huge deal. It'll likely bring Garnet Exelby into the lineup. So 2 defensive defensemen on that 3rd pair. Not the ideal situation for chemistry, but at least that is a solid enough pairing, I suppose, having Coburn there. And the L's just keep lining up here. So we had a couple of wins against the Coyotes and the Capitals, then a 3-1 loss, 2-1 loss against the Devils, 5-4 loss against the Hurricanes. Finally scoring. One game we do score, we get scored on too much. The Kings are currently 30, 12, and 5. They're 2nd in the division with 23, 16, and 7 being our record. Back into the edit lines here. Just want to see how things are looking. I am curious about one change I want to make. What if we swap around Kozlov and Hossa? I'm not sure if it would help the chemistry between Sniper and Dangler, but I'm curious to see if we can spread the wealth a little bit, similar to that first suggestion earlier on from ZNC about putting different players on different lines as opposed to just stacking the first. Yeah, Exelby is on that 3rd defensive pair. He has grown in overall, no chemistry. He does have 79 potential in the 13 games that he has played. Got a couple assists plus 1. Okay, not bad at all for Garnet Exelby. We can do that. Owner says you got to step it up to get a win. Let's do it right here at home for the Atlanta Thrashers. Let's sim this game. 1st period, oh boy, 3-0. 2nd period, 0-0, and 3rd period, 1-0. Wow, we get shut out 4-0 by the LA Kings. Who's in nets over here? Dan Cloutier? 4-0 shellacking. Yeah, GM Data very upset as the Atlanta Thrashers get shut out. You better believe I am. That's disgusting. We have the scoring power. After all these 2-1, 3-1, all these games and everything, we can't be losing 4-0. We're barely on the edge of the playoffs. The Hurricanes are right behind us. What's the mail telling us here? The Canadiens trade Kovalev and Letowski, who they just got, to the Maple Leafs for Suglobov and Ian White. So Alex Kovalev going to the Maple Leafs, that is insane. Huge deal there. We're 27th in the league for profit rankings, so we rose a couple rankings there. Hope that makes Hendrik Hughes happy. So yeah, and speaking of updates and scouting, blah, 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 for some reason we don't have that star available anymore, so don't give me your suggestions on where that last star should go, because I guess we only had 2 at the beginning. Trust level went down or something. Now we only have no stars left. I thought we would have had 1, so that's disappointing. I can't do any upgrades at the moment. Let's check out our point totals right now. Pierre Turgeon leading the way with 37 points in 48 games, an absolute monster. Kovalchuk in 4 less games has the same amount of points. Hossa, Kozlov, Dempsey is killing it right now. Great free agency signing, 25 points. Bobby Holik looking okay. First line center, the plus minuses are what's hurting me here. Havilid, -9 despite all those points. Kapanen's killing me. He has some goals, but he's a -10. Not sure what's up with that. Sutton, not good. Domi is hurting me. A lot of 79 penalty minutes. That's really killing us right now. Really not ideal at all. Sutton has, despite the 11 points for a defenseman, it's just the plus minuses are really hurting me. I think it's gonna be, yeah, here we go. Here we go. -4 for Bondra, whatever. But -21 for Jim Slater. That fourth line is not cutting it. There they are. Mellenby, Aubin. Yeah, this is not the typical fourth line in NHL 21 where 79 overalls can cut it. These guys are minor leaguers, and we need to think about revamping that fourth line possibly, because those plus minuses are absolutely unacceptable. With their minimal ice time in the -20s like that. Hedberg is 17-17-0 with an .862 save percentage, 2.62 goals against. Hedberg 6-7-0, 2.72 goals against, .854 save percentage. Both not good numbers. Really, goals against average are okay, but the save percentages are rough. But I think compared to the rest of the league, it's not so crazy. Like, we can only do so much with this lineup. Like, Slater on the third line could be fixed, and Mellenby on the fourth line. I don't know what Domi. I don't know. I don't want to upgrade. I don't want to give him more ice time with all the penalty minutes he's getting. But the entire bottom 6 could be absolutely revamped with the way they've been playing right now. Kapanen scoring goals, but that's it. Mellenby's the captain. Yeah, the guy's 40 years old, 80 overall, but he's just, I don't know. Like, fourth line's okay, but that third line is really, really hurting. Is there anyone around the NHL we could think about looking at the entire league when it comes to points? Jan Hrdina is leading the NHL in points right now. He's an 89 overall over on the Columbus Blue Jackets, so good for him. Rick Nash, Alex Tanguay, Spezza, Forsberg, Chichu going down the list here. All big names with high overall who we wouldn't necessarily be thinking about. But the older guys seem to be easier to trade for, so I saw Solani up there. Kubina's here. Good for him as a defensive defenseman with 40 points in 49 games over on the Maple Leafs. That's pretty crazy as a defensive defenseman, 90 overall, putting up numbers like that. Lecavalier, Pitkanen, Gary Roberts. There's Turgeon up there, of course. Ovechkin, looking good. Hossa made the cut there. Scotty Gomez, legend. Zednik. I'm just trying to see like some older guys. Like Sergei Fedorov, for example. That would be interesting. A center playmaker. He has 36 points in 38 games. He's definitely closer to retirement. Could he help us for chemistry and just for scoring? He's an 89 overall, 37 years of age. So similar to Pierre Turgeon, might be easier to trade for these guys, supposedly, in this NHL 07 trade system. Need to keep that in consideration. Martin St. Pierre, legend. Great to see him looking good. So I think I'll leave you off there, my friends. Pretty solid record for us. It's not a tough division, but the conference is very difficult. Lots of suggestions I could go into the next episode on guys that could be moving out. Should we be looking at some older guys? Should we be looking at picking up some draft picks maybe? Do we make a push this season? What are we thinking about? So I'm looking forward to hearing all your thoughts down here in the YouTube comments or over in the Discord server. Link for that down in the description, as well as the link for the Twitch channel, now a Twitch affiliate. So thank you to everyone who's been making it out for the streams. Very much appreciate that. If you enjoyed this first episode of the NHL 07 Dynasty Mode series, leave a like, consider subscribing, as you'll be able to follow along with the entire series, as well as the new upcoming NHL 21 Franchise Mode series. You can vote on that here on the YouTube channel, over on the community tab. Still a lot of hockey left to be played here at the All-Star break. Big decisions coming at the trade deadline. Can't do it without all of you, so I look forward to reading all of your suggestions. Thank you once again for following along despite some of the audio issues in this one, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one.